They think they're safe, but they're wrong.
Does your teenager know the risks of disease?
It's
Make it enjoyable to watch the news.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
What did you have to do to go to the bathroom? I mean,
Well, we all...
I did my ears myself.
You did it yourself?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
The needle?
but sometimes if a woman has a thin wrist, it's possible to slip right out of there. And then you're home free. Selling assault weapons?
I don't know what you consider assault weapons.
I'm sure there's a legal definition of assault weapon. And I'm sure if you're a gun dealer, you know what I'm referring to. Are you selling what you consider to be assault weapons?
No, ma'am.
My buddy is you.
Well, that's my sister, and I'm proud of her. Help in the fight against breast cancer, and stay with the one you love.
For my son.
Stay with the one you love. Call now for your free Univera Buddy Check 2 information packet. First at 5 begins right now.
Good evening. An off-duty Buffalo police sergeant involved in a double fatal accident has now been charged with DWI.
A second driver faces stiffer charges. Both men were arraigned today. Channel 2's Claudine Ewing has the follow-up to a story you saw first on 2. The judge also suspended the sergeant's driver's license. Both Owens and Thomas were released on their recognizance. Thomas has filed a $5 million civil suit against the police sergeant. New York officials take another step in the hopes of bringing James Charles Kopp back to Western New York to face murder charges. Governor George Pataki signed an executive order requesting that Kopp be returned from France. Kopp, meanwhile, says he's broke and is requesting a public defender to represent him if and when he's returned to Buffalo. The anti-abortion activist is charged with shooting Dr. Barnett Slepian in his Amherst home 2 years ago. Timothy McVeigh says bombing the Murrah Federal Building was not his first plan. In a letter written to a news agency, McVeigh says he thought about assassinating former Attorney General Janet Reno because of what happened at Waco. He says he chose the bombing plot instead to, quote, send a message to a government that was becoming increasingly hostile. McVeigh is scheduled to be executed May 16th. Police in Hollywood, Florida are trying to figure out why a man went to the top of an apartment building and opened fire this morning. 2 people were killed and 2 others, including a pregnant woman, were wounded before the shooting stopped. The gunman also died, but police aren't saying if they shot him or if he killed himself. Efforts by local officials to save a landmark flour mill have reportedly failed. State Assemblyman Brian Higgins says an offer of help to ConAgra officials has been rejected. 75 workers at the flour processing plant will lose their jobs when operations there come to an end in June.
All right, everybody wants to know, will all this good weather we're having last through the weekend?
That's right, let's check in now with Kevin O'Connell. Kevin?
Well, I'll tell you, Carol and Scott, it looks like this forecast is going to leave us high and dry.
Channel 2 News, first at 5, on your side.
There's now new hope that early detection of breast cancer could get even earlier.
Researchers say a new procedure can detect precancerous conditions 8 to 10 years before a lump develops. The procedure uses a catheter to draw cells out of milk ducts